Iron Man's known for his red and gold suit, and Thor's got his iconic hammer, but Captain America's shield is easily one of the most recognizable symbols in the MCU. This iconic logo isn't just a visual trademark, it represents Captain America's core mission, to defend those who can't defend themselves. That's why his primary piece of gear is defensive, and his only offensive move is a defensive preemptive strike. Today we'll be exploring Captain America's shield, the centerpiece of Steve Rogers' philosophy as a superhero. Like Cap himself, the shield has undergone a significant journey of development and upgrades, starting with the trash can lid. I get that not everyone loves Steve Rogers using the garbage can lid as a shield in Captain America, but I can see why a lot of people like it because I see it as a cool bit of foreshadowing for his future as Captain America, and shows his instinct to protect others even when he's outmatched. Sure, it might not work for everyone, but it's still a fun nod to his iconic shield later on. I like this scene because it shows that even without the super serum or a vibranium shield, Steve is always willing to step up and protect people, whether he's got a tin lid or something more powerful. It's also worth mentioning that this is part of Captain America's shield journey. Later on, we see him use a taxi cab door as a shield during gunfire, which even has a star on it, foreshadowing his iconic shield again. This time, he had the super soldier serum and could actually use something that could protect him and others from danger. Heater shield. Captain America originally used a simple, practical heater shield, which was a smaller, lighter design from the medieval era. Named for its resemblance to a heating iron, this shield offered less protection than the larger ones, but was easier to handle for soldiers who wore more armor. In the MCU, after the US entered World War II, Steve Rogers was used by the USO to promote war bonds and entertain troops. During his tour in Italy, he learned that his friend Bucky Barnes had been captured by Hydra. Determined to rescue him, Steve set off on a mission to an Austrian Hydra facility, wearing his USO uniform and bringing along the heater shield. Although it was initially just a fancy prop, the shield was actually made of steel, which could stop most bullets, making it effective against small arms fire. However, when Captain America faced the superpowered Red Skull, the shield's limitations became clear as the villain easily dented it with a punch.
You got no idea. Today.
Vibranium shield. In Captain America, the first Avenger, when Howard Stark shows Steve Rogers some options for a new shield, Steve spots a prototype that Stark wasn't initially planning to reveal. Despite being unpainted, this vibranium shield stands out as the coolest option, and Steve's quest for greatness leads him to choose it. So, Stark presents Steve with the new shield made from vibranium, an extremely rare metal, as he mentions while introducing. The Army had used their last piece of vibranium for this shield. It's circular like a frisbee, making it easy to handle, and has the unique ability to absorb and reflect huge amounts of kinetic energy. This means it can withstand impacts from everything from a minigun and plasma rifle to Thor's hammer. This shield became Captain America's main one for most of the MCU. He used it in the Avengers, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Avengers, Age of Ultron, where it got some cool magnetic upgrades, and Captain America, Civil War. The scratched vibranium shield. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Captain America's shield mostly stayed the same with just a few paint jobs to draw less attention. However, he loses the shield after a heated fight with Iron Man in the Civil War.
You don't deserve it. My father made that shield.
Despite beating Iron Man, Tony Stark tells Steve that he doesn't deserve to wield the shield anymore. Since Tony's father had originally given the shield to Captain America, he feels he has the authority to make this call. In response, Captain America leaves the shield behind. Prototype shield. Here's a lesser-known detail. In Spider-Man: Homecoming, Happy Hogan mentioned that Tony Stark had designed a new prototype shield for Captain America. Thanks to concept designer Faust DeMartini's Instagram, we got a glimpse of what it might have looked like. The prototype was described as a magnetic shield that could attract metal and act as a directional force field. It even had a bit of a resemblance to Iron Man's arc reactor from the first Iron Man film. It's a shame this design didn't make it into the movies. Wakanda's dual retractable mini shields. In Avengers: Infinity War, Steve Rogers makes a dramatic return to help the Avengers fight Thanos. Channeling his comic book roots, he gets some cool upgrades from the Wakandans. 2 Vibranium gauntlets designed by T'Challa and Shuri. These gauntlets give him less defensive shielding, but much more mobility and offensive power, perfectly matching his darker suit and impressive beard. Anyone who dislikes that beard probably can't grow one themselves. Broken shield. While the gauntlets were a cool upgrade, Captain America needed his shield back, and in Avengers Endgame, he's reunited with his iconic one. Tony Stark held onto it, repaired it, and gave it back to Steve. This is the shield Captain America used until Thanos destroyed it during the battle at the Avengers compound. We don't know exactly where the broken shield ended up, but it's quite possible it got lost during the final battle. Thanos' warships carpet-bombed the area, which might not have further damaged the shield but could have buried it under the rubble. New Vibranium shield. So we finally got a look at the alternate timeline shield that Steve gives to Sam at the end of Endgame. Remember, Thanos totally wrecked Cap's original shield, so the one old Steve pulls out is actually the original Vibranium shield, but from the new timeline where he lived a full life with Peggy Carter. This is the shield we see in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was initially worn by John Walker, then Captain America. But after that, we saw the shield going back to Sam Wilson after he won the fight against John Walker. John Walker's replica shield. We see another shield that John Walker's making in the post-credits scene of Episode 5 is technically another version of Captain America's shield. By the time of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale, he was back in his costume with this new shield, featuring his Medal of Honor on the inside. He used it to fight the Flag Smashers alongside Sam and Bucky, going head-to-head with Karli Morgenthau. During the intense battle, the shield took quite a beating from the Flag Smashers, who overwhelmed him with their numbers. When Walker dropped the shield to rescue a truck full of hostages, its condition showed how different it was from Captain America's. The shield was severely damaged and barely held together after all the hits from the Flag Smashers. While it was a decent weapon and offered good defense, it can't absorb heavy blows like the Vibranium shield can, missing out on that key quality. However, for a non-Vibranium metal shield, it did hold up well against super soldiers. Still, it wouldn't be ideal for a superhero constantly facing powerful foes, as it would require frequent repairs. Another notable feature of Cap's original shield was its boomerang-like throwing ability. Walker did throw his shield, but it was quickly deflected, so it's unclear if it would have returned to him. Cap's shield could do that due to its perfect balance and the energy-absorbing properties of Vibranium, qualities Walker's shield likely lacks. It's possible that when Walker returns to the MCU, he might have a new, improved shield. Contessa Val might have one made for him between the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Thunderbolts. This new shield could resemble the one US agent uses in the comics, which is made from Vibranium. While it might not be as durable, it should be better suited for battling superpowered villains. Now that's the wrap on the MCU shields. In the comics, Cap has used tons of different shields over the years, like a super shiny Adamantium one messed up by Dormammu with jagged edges, and even a flexible plasma one. And we can't forget that plastic see-through shield from the 70s Captain America TV movies. But MCU Cap's shields have all been pretty solid, and we definitely haven't seen the last of that iconic red, white, and blue, as there is another Cap movie on its way in 2025. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.